Hey guys, Caleb here. This is the inaugural episode of MLYP's show. All this for $10 now, exclusively behind our Kill the Computer Patreon paywall. This is completely bonus content. This does not impact the release schedule for the show. This is just some extra stuff we're trying to do to create value for you guys for sticking around. Obviously, we've got the Chiral Mindset coming as well soon, and June and I are also kind of in the pre-production phase for a couple of other shows, all of which will be just extra content for you guys behind the paywall here. So thanks for sticking around, and we hope that you guys enjoy this and the other stuff that we've got coming. In the meantime, this unfortunately is a gooning episode, so content warning, strong sexual language and graphic stuff. Unfortunately, this is now the third fucking episode I have been forced to do on this podcast. So enjoy. We will see you next time.
ChatGPT is telling you have seen the code, you have detached from the world that we're all seeing. You're seeing it for how it truly is.
I haven't been on Twitter, but I'm just gonna start posting on there, and I think I'm gonna do a bit where I'm experiencing ChatGPT psychosis, where it told me to bring a gun to Applebee's and see how long it takes for people to just slowly get crazier and crazier. I don't give a fuck about that account anyway. It would be really funny.
You should. I love your more absurd bits that you want to do or that you've tried to do.
It sucks when they fail, but
my all-time favorite is one that failed. Was the when you were the third Krasenstein
brother. Yeah,
that was my low-key, high-key favorite one.
It was so funny because I know they saw it, but they chose not to engage with me because they knew what I was doing. That's the only thing that matters to me, is that they know I was fucking with them. So
it made me laugh so hard for the 12 hours that you did it, where you would just quote tweet or reply to something.
That's right, Ed.
That's
that
right.
Crappy
I agree.
Edited photo of myself smiling like them.
just finding their childhood family photos and just editing yourself.
Photoshopping myself in. Yeah, I did that with the McElroys on Blue Sky, and I got dragged. Did you guys hear about that?
The secret fourth McElroy brother.
Yeah. They got so mad at me.
Hated you. Yeah. They hated you for that one.
I was gay bashing, but none of them are gay. It's like, what? That says more about them than me. That says more about them.
They're queer baiting. That's I don't even want to get into that.
I'm bashing the queer baiters, so I'm homophobic. It's so good. It's so good.
What was the photo you used for the McElroy one again? I forget.
I don't remember what photo I used, but I changed my name to Pringle McElroy.
Pringle.
Poot McElroy. Oh no.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the way you your names, your naming style for your characters and bits that you do is very the Onion tier. It's I forget what article came out the other day where I was just stunned by the name that they used on.
The Onion has been definitely an influence on my naming criteria over the years, for sure. It's
I need to add some of yours to my website. I made a new page with just cool usernames I'm collecting. I need to go put them in there like Thanos collecting Infinity Stones.
It sucks because they don't allow you to change your name on X Everything app anymore. It's like a fucking pain in the ass. I used to do it literally every day. I'd have a new insane name. And it felt good.
I do think they actually made it a little easier. I might be wrong about that, though. I just vaguely remember there was something recently where you can go a little ham again. Yeah, remember that? That fucking used to rule. You could just change your name every 2 minutes. That was just something you could do. What a cool.
Remember when we used to respect the computer?
All the bored panda parasites that are looking for something to write about would have to quote me as Gary Onion or Cecil Dirtman or something when they were looking for content to post.
Yeah. That's the best. That shit's too good.
Yeah.
And now no more. Yeah, I can't find the name of the person on one of the Onion articles I posted recently, but I was just stunned by the name.
I think this is a good segue into what I want to do with y'all today, I guess.
What do you want to do? You want to jack off together?
No, oh God, no, we're going to remember things. We're going to remember things and make all of the listeners more knowledgeable but worse off for it, I think is my goal today.
Yeah.
Just like curse knowledge.
I've been making some healthy changes in my life, and one of the things that I'm doing is making sure I go for a walk most days, hopefully every day, through the woods if I can. And I was thinking about, and again, no music, no podcast, just raw dogging, a walk through the woods while I think. And what I was thinking about was this, to prepare for this. And I started thinking about like Derrida and how to understand the Goon, you must understand all the words outside of gooning, and how there is nothing outside the text. And when I came to that conclusion of like all the prerequisite ways you have to understand words surrounding gooning to make this episode good, I almost shot myself in the face.
Did you speaking of the woods, like, did you find any woods porn, or is that like fully extinct as a genre of porn?
I never actually have found woods porn. We heard the fabled stories of woods porn, and of course, when I was a little kid, I was pretty much just on my own. My parents both worked a lot of hours, and I lived near a little league field, and there was a shitload of woods around it, and all the kids would say that there was like some stash out there somewhere, so we'd spend time looking for the woods porn. And I never found it.
For the porn, like the Goonies, right? Yeah, I get it.
Back in the day, people would go out into the woods with a gun to try to like get meat, hunt animals, kill, so you could survive. These days, you go into the woods to jack off and look for porn. How things have changed.
Well, now it's all on your phone. Kids don't have to earn it anymore.
Yeah. See, that's why I think porn. There was a special quality back in the day. I'm like too young. I was never like a human being that was like conscious of the world around me when like forest porn was a thing. But that definitely sounds like it was an urban legend type situation.
I think it was a real thing. Like, I'll say this. I was like, if I'd actually found the woods porn, I wouldn't know what to do with it. This was prepubescent. So I wouldn't have known what to do with it. But I do think it was a real thing. And maybe this is something that we can explore in future episodes, like the phenomenon of woods porn. Because people like them, there was like, and I'm saying this agnostically. I'm not, no value judgments one way or the other. I think that there was just a base level of societal shame involved in like jacking off in pornography, and people would literally like rather go out into the woods to find it and discover it than have their significant other or somebody else find their stash. Whereas nowadays,
stash like off the property.
Yeah, which I do think that at least if you're a child, if you want to find porn, you should have some sort of Goonies adventure to get to it first. But for adults, I don't know.
But I also think that shame is still mostly there, like at least in society these days. I mean, have you ever seen those stories, like recently, still, of people talking about like finding out that their partner watches porn when they're like not together, or something like that, or just like every once in a while, and they consider. I don't personally consider this cheating, but I've seen people in relationships call watching porn as like cheating. So there is still like that shame there.
Yeah.
And I don't judge people who do think it's cheating. Like,
it's just about having a conversation and setting boundaries and expectations first, I feel like, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's cheating either. And I would, if somebody did, I wouldn't be with them. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's a thing. Do I like, want that person to be involved when I am jacking off? Do I want them to know what I'm looking at? No, that's my own business. But like, I don't think it's cheating, I don't know.
Yeah. So there is still that shame, and Gooning is here to maybe change that perspective, or maybe make it worse. Who knows?
Yeah. This is now the fourth time I've had to do a fucking episode about Gooning, and it's haunting me, dude. It's haunting me. None of the episodes. I'll just say we're recording now, so fine. This will probably be in the cold open, and if not, I'll make this point again later. I'll edit it in past the fact if I have to. Not one of the episodes we've done about Gooning has been my choice. I'm just saying that now. Not once.
You hate Gooners. You're actually anti.
No, I forced this upon you. I just kind of dropped into the group chat and was like, hey, I've got these slides ready to go.
Holocaust went. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Cameron, I think your thesis that you sort of opened with of like we have to curse ourselves and remember these things. There's like a beauty in that. There is a beauty in telling people about the worst things you find, like taking like a cat chasing a mouse and bringing it to your doorstep and like throwing it in front of you, and just like seeing the disgusting like dead rat in front of you. I think that's a very important ecosystem.
Yeah, like I saw this, I've got this up here on the slides that we're looking at, right? It's a post on Blue Sky about, it starts with one person saying that they hate how the word goon has been ruined. Like it used to be about henchmen and now it's porn brain stuff. And then someone else realizing that the term hired goons can be used to describe renting porn now, which means that the world is a majestic place.
Yeah, I don't remember the first time that I like heard what gooning was. It might have just been straight up like around the time we did that very first gooning episode back in like early 2023. That might have been my first. But ever since then, yeah, I hired goons. When I see like goons as in like mafia goons or whoever type of goons, there's always that little thing in the back of my mind that's like, oh, also jack off. Like it's just like a fucking like a little alarm bell that goes off for half a second.
Yeah, we can actually like trace the word back to the 20s. It's about as far back as I can go for the word goon. Like it's been around. So it's been around for 100 years. Like there's multiple definitions of the word now. I've got about 6 that I found. Like there's obviously like the Goonies and stuff, which I haven't included in here as like the movie. But like the earliest definition I can find was actually them like, it was a simpleton, like a socially awkward person, like, you know, a big dumb goon. Like, you know, I think like if I describe someone as a big dumb goon, you're like, oh yeah, the guy that's like 8 foot tall and built like a brick shit house. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, boss.
That kind of follows him around.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the modern like corollary to that is like a grug, like a very very like Dumbo type guy.
Yeah, like the influence is probably from the word goonie, which is what sailors used to like describe albatrosses. Like they called them goonie birds. So they were like, if you ever seen an albatross just walk on the ground without flying, really really stupid bird. Like flying, they're majestic, but then on the ground, you're like, you don't like being down here. So yeah, in like the 1910s, people would say like, don't be a goon, in the same way we'd say don't be a dummy. However, there is a competing term. So like there's goons and then there's jiggers.
Yeah, I when I was looking at this research for this episode, I saw that and I started white knuckling a little bit till we got to the definition. I thought this was something else. Gonna go.
Yeah, I was also very like, I don't like that word. I don't. That's
so I just need to clarify here. This is from the 20s, but like goons are like quite literal, have quite a literal view on life, and jiggers look on life with a genial eye. So George Washington was a goon, whereas Abraham Lincoln was a jigger.
So explain this a little bit more. I tried to figure out exactly what this meant, and I like couldn't fully square it in my mind with like what the two differences, especially in the example here, George Washington and Lincoln.
Yeah. So it's the way that you interact with life. Like a goon is that big dumb oaf who just has a heavy touch on the way they do everything. Like they're just quite a simpleton, whereas a jigger's got that, they've got a light touch on life is what I
to jigger with something basically means to fiddle with it, to be or it did at one point.
Yeah. So there is also Alice the Goon from around the same time, who is a fictional character from a comic strip called Thimble Theater. So Thimble Theater eventually became Popeye. But Alice was actually adapted into like when Popeye became an animated series, Alice is there as well. So Alice is an Amazonian giantess. And no one in the Popeye comic looks normal, but she's like drawn particularly weirdly. Always has been, but she's like big, strong, scary, but quite gentle.
I like that her legs are like so fucking thin, but her arms
skips leg day for sure.
Yeah. Like every single like person in the Popeye universe just has really good forearm workouts, which is insane.
Speaking of gooning,
that's definitely
Yeah, like from there, it kind of turned into mob goons and union busting goons, which is like the main one that we know. So like before the 30s that was like that doofus kind of thing, a stupid goon, and then pulp crime stories, noir films started using it for mob enforcers. So eventually it became thugs and muscles for hire. That's how we got like mob goon. And then the term was also used for people who were hired in labor disputes. So goon squads would come in to break strikes.
This is like a great, I don't know, this is the best, the most fun type of goon.
This is the apex goon.
Hey, boss.
It only got worse from here with every further definition.
Yeah. Whatever you say, boss.
Exactly, yeah. Like just a nondescript bunch of like a gaggle of like little guys that can like beat you up. Like it rocks. It's so fucking cool. I also love just this era. Like I feel like we need to bring the mafia back. We need to bring back real goons. We have to have the real goon versus modern gooners, the jack off guys. We need the mafia. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Like Chicago, Chicago, great city. Fucking love Chicago. But it would be a lot more fun if the mafia was like still around, right? Like that'd be so cool.
I think just like, do you remember that TikTok trend? It was like 4 years pre-COVID, I think, where people were like pretending to be mob bosses on TikTok.
No, I don't remember that.
I was way too on TikTok at the time, to the point where like it burnt into the phone screen of the phone that I was on, and now I have a 30-minute a day time limit solely for work on TikTok.
Super unrelated, but I do find how like TikTok posting culture has changed ever since it like changed from Musical.ly to the early days to like now.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different place. I feel like a lot of the like early cringe things where people are doing those like super exaggerated movements that I'm sure I don't even need to describe, like the like hand things where they're like moving
the Junko posing,
yeah, like that stuff doesn't seem to really be around anymore, and like a lot of that sort of type of theater like person, I don't know, it seems totally different on there now.
No, I think it lost a lot of its charm when they decided you can post 10-minute videos on it. Like it used to be forced to at least be kind of funny
10?
Within 30 seconds. Yeah, you can go for forever on TikTok. The limit's like minutes.
It's stupid.
You can go. It's crazy.
What is the point of that?
I mean, I've probably watched most of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on TikTok at this point, if I'm being real.
I'm glad that's still that's still something people do online, is like watch cracked, like really low quality versions of shows on like video hosting. Like I did that with Bo back in the day on YouTube. I watched those like 3-minute clips that were all in a playlist, and that's like how I was introduced to anime. It was like really shitty bootleg uploads onto YouTube.
I think there's like one Scorsese film that got completely cut into entirely TikTok, like 1 minute long lengths and uploaded. I'll need to find it. But it's like it was put up there by the distributor as a bit.
What? Oh my god!
I need to find it if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah,
kind of incredible.
So, Union Goons, anti-Union Goons, mob goons, they were still oafish. Like they were still stupid muscle. It's also been in comic books, so like comic book henchmen are called goons still, like the same way the mob has goons. Like you'll always hear like Batman's out there fighting Joker's goons.
Yeah.
Which doesn't hold over. There is the Grand Order of Occidental Nighthawks in Gotham City. So that's that shortens to goon. Like they all have like the word goon on their shirt at points, so they're bodyguards for the Penguin. So those are the actual goons that comics have.
One like cool. Final thought on like these type of goons is I at least in like how the culture started talking about gooners, the gooners that we all know today, was like I feel like there's just that easy joke of, I'm sure you guys have seen one of these where it was like, oh, goons aren't like around anymore, goons are falling off, repost if you're a real gooner or something like that, if you support goons. And it was like a picture of a bodyguard. I feel like that was like a weird like early phase of like shifting into the like jack off gooners, like bringing that awareness to people of, oh, there's like a funny ulterior joke here that you might not know about, that it like eventually just worked its way into the culture.
Oh, it's the same. Like, is that like a subgenre of the price of Sonic merch is rising really fast? Google Sonic inflation for more.
Yeah, literally, it's that sort
kind of joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen a lot of that. You still see a lot of those jokes, and they pop me every time. Like I love seeing them because they're like, yeah, making people see fucked up shit.
That's the true joy of the internet.
So I've got third definition. I know it's really popular here. It's really popular in Australia as well. Do y'all have much box wine over in America?
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's not.
Yeah.
I've only probably consumed it once or twice in my life, but it's around.
Same. I don't really like personally find the appeal of it. I think whenever I have heard of people having box wine, it's to like bring it to a beach or like an event like that. I don't think, at least around my parts, it's not like the most popular thing.
Yeah. So over here in Australia and New Zealand, boxed wine is known as Goon. So people actually call it Goon. And inside this cardboard,
you guys slap the bag out there? You know what that is?
Oh yeah, 100%. You can use it as a pillow too. When you're finished and you're going home from a party on the bus, you can blow it up with air and then use it as a pillow.
Wait, what's slapping the bag? What is that?
So inside the cardboard box is a bag. So like it's a plastic bladder of air. So it's like and you see a lot of people just take the cardboard box, throw that away, and just carry around a bag full of wine.
That's the way I did it.
With the spout, and they can just pour it straight in their mouth.
Yeah, you slap the bag while you're drinking it. You never done that before?
Like a big belly, just like
you just slap the bag as you're drinking the shitty fucking Franzia or whatever.
So the Franzia is called like a goon sack or like a goon bag. There's also like if it's red wine, it can be called a red handbag. Or it's like Box Monster. Yeah, a lot of names. So it was invented by a guy called Thomas Angove. I couldn't actually find his pronunciation. So he was a winemaker from South Africa. So it's not South Australia, sorry. And patented in 1964. So like this kind of product already existed. It was a box used by mechanics to transport like battery acid. So if they were like doing servicing on truck batteries and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, we can throw wine in that,
we should get fucking loaded off of this.
Way better use of that design, absolutely.
Yeah, so the box is called a Goon box, and the bag is the Goon bag. That's the really important part.
So you're telling us, like, of course, people in Australia say this. Like, have you heard people say this? Like, growing up, like 10 years ago, they would call this the Goon bag. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I grew up calling it like
you'd call
Goon.
It the Goon.
Yeah, call it the Goon. From what I can piece together, it was derived from like the word flagon. So Australians would, because it was the word was an Australian, it's kind of proliferated over here to New Zealand. The second syllable in flagon like was kind of elongated into flagoon, and then that was shortened to goon. It's just like one of those like people making up stupid nicknames that eventually stuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, so now it's just known as Goon. A party game when I was younger, I have played this before, is called Goon of Fortune. So
that's definitely a different thing, like definitely in 2025. Yeah.
So big over here. I haven't ever seen them in any kind of American pop culture. We have rotary washing lines. So it's a stick in the ground, and then there's 4 poles going off at 90-degree angles, and then wires between it, and it rotates in the wind a little bit. So like it's just like a real compact washing line. And what people would do is they'd pin a bag of Goon to the line and then spin the washing line. And people would be lined up around it in a circle, and if it landed in front of you, you had to take a drink and then respin it.
Holy shit.
That's cool. That's so fun and whimsical. Why did glassy-eyed masturbators robbed us of this?
Why don't we need to bring this here? Like, we got to do some more colonizing across the world. We have to bring this back to us.
You have to like reverse colonize the Australasian version of the washing line.
Yeah, wait, shit. Then, this would be a great summertime thing.
It's great because like you bring it out the fridge, it's cold wine. So then you're out there. You see everyone in this photo that I've got up here is like, half the guys just wearing board shorts and a shirtless. And the guy on the left is taking a big hearty swig out of the bag.
Oh, that's what's happening. No, they're having the time of their lives. Okay, next summer.
That sounds badass, dude.
Next summer, it's happening. I'm doing the Goon of Fortune.
Goon of Fortune, like you can do, like you don't have to do it on. Like I think it needs to be on the spinning washing line. Like you could just do spin the bottle, and whoever it lands on has to take a big drink out of box wine. But it needs to be on the washing machine, and not the washing line. It has to be spun.
Yeah, I'm not trying to half-ass it. It needs to be this exact setup. It needs to be spinning. It needs to be a real wheel.
It needs to be a real, 100%. So 4th version, still in use today, is the hockey enforcer.
Yes.
So ice hockey. The cold hockey. That's been around since the 60s and 70s. So fighting and on ice intimidation. Like, I love hockey I don't really watch it, but every time it pops up, I'm like, do they still get to fight each other?
Yeah.
And I believe they still do.
I think it's a lot more restricted these days. I don't think it's as encouraged as it used to be. I think you still can, though. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's like banned fully, but it is a lot more like, oh, we shouldn't let them like kill each other.
Yeah, so like a common archetype there was like just your big, huge dude whose entire job was to just like, if you fuck up my star player, he's going to destroy your face because he's huge and knows how to fight.
See,
and
this
he's
is respectable too. Like, they're not like going out, like they're not after the game. They're not like going to people's houses, breaking knees. They're doing it in front of everyone as entertainment. They're destroying each other.
There's a sort of Ronin-esque honor system in ice hockey that I've always appreciated.
Yeah. No, growing
like you
up,
can't fight.
Huh?
Go for it, Jim. Sorry. Yeah, you were growing up. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're so good. I was just saying, growing up, my family was like an ice hockey family. My cousin played, my uncle, and actually both my uncles played. My grandpa loves hockey, still does. And so I grew up in ice rinks a lot, watching my cousin play and just watching hockey, playing hockey games. And I have to say, I loved the hockey games where you could straight up just beat people up too. Like that shit was so cool. I don't know if that's still possible in hockey games. I haven't really played sport games in a long time, but as like a 5-year-old, there was nothing cooler than like being able to beat up some hockey players while you're playing hockey.
Yeah, I think there's like the thing is like if you want to fight, you have to like drop the gloves. And it's obviously a lot harder to get a swing in if you're standing there on the ice with like ice skates on, so you can't like plant your feet for like a proper punch.
Yeah.
So half the time it just turns into like just people flailing around at each other.
They're kind of the ultimate type of warrior, honestly. I didn't even consider that aspect of it.
Yeah. So like there is a movie starring Sean William Scott, or like he's the Stifler from what's it from the movie
Pie.
American Pie. Yeah, Stifler from the American Pie movie. Stifler from the movie. Jesus Christ, what am I on? So this was based on a novel called Goon: The True Story of an Unlikely Journey into Minor League Hockey, where a guy was like, he was not a good player, but he was well liked, but his entire job was just to be a goon. And so there's this like this niche movie called
Imagine
Goon
being a
out there now.
personality hire to be like as that.
To be the fighter. Yeah, we just brought him in. He's a nice guy.
Nice guy. We can give him a shot.
His arms are ridiculous.
Mm.
No, that would be such a cool. I'm glad we need more jobs moving companies hire these type of guys. We need to like have more jobs for just ridiculously strong armed guys like this. I feel it's a really underrepresented genre of like career.
We need what, job programs for the big galoots in our life?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, send your local galoot down to the big oaf job center for large adult sons. Jeez. Speaking of large adult sons, definition 5. I have like literally one slide in here because this is all we really need to go over it. It's something awful members, so that's my area of expertise. Users of this forum are called goons.
I didn't realize that until recently. I thought that was just like a joke people would make about the people there. And then I maybe a couple of months ago realized straight up they are called goons. That is the title of the members on this forum.
They're if this is inappropriate, I'll cut it after the fact. I don't know if it is or not, or if it's worth mentioning. There is a certain slur used by Kiwi Farms members to describe trans people that rhymes with goon. And that comes from this because Kiwi Farms is derivative of Something Awful. And initially, on Something Awful, calling yourself that was not offensive. It was how a trans person would identify as a Something Awful forums user.
Really? So it was just like a self-identifying term that was eventually shifted into a slur. I did not realize that part.
Because
like I knew the origin.
Came from Something Awful, yeah.
Okay. Holy shit.
I prefer the term for a female Something Awful user used now. It's called a goonette. Which is like it's, there's goons and goonettes.
That's very Reddit of them, honestly. I appreciate that. It makes me think of Rage comics. Do you remember those? Do you remember Rage comics?
Yeah.
The superior Wojaks and Soyjaks.
Yeah. It's like what we went from image macros. We had Philosophy Raptor or whatever, and then it became Rage comics.
The old ones were so funny. The funniest one that I remember was the kind of chubby kid who was racking his nuts on his bike, and it just said "owned." The first time I saw that, I probably laughed for 15 minutes. That's just what the internet was back then.
Yeah, no, I do miss those days. Whenever people try to bring back, either ironically or semi-ironically or completely seriously, like Rage comics or any of these type of things, I'm like, I appreciate them. I think they're doing the world a service, not letting that art form die. Of a simpler time.
Like Japanese soldier still fighting, but he's still making Rage comics.
Bro's still in the bunker.
You know what? Let's check out the... Ooh, my voice just cracked. Let's check out the...
r/Rage comics.
Well, it's F7U12.
Oh,
is what it's called. F7U12.
I'm on Advice Animals right now. 10 million members.
Going?
It's still going. There's 10 million members on Reddit for this place. The current profile picture or a community picture on r/Advice Animals is that really large, round, bald edit of JD Vance that was supposedly the TSA arrested or detained someone over having on his phone.
Oh, that one, yep.
Yeah, so
Large.
that's great. Yeah.
Augustus Gloop Vance, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I think got rid of F7U12. That sucks.
Oh my God.
It does suck.
Lost media.
Lost media,
I would
dude.
love to I want to do a deep dive, and I'm just kind of figuring out how to go about it. The state of meme acceleration. Like back when I was first getting the internet, Dancing Baby was all you had for 8 months. And now we've gone from if you're offline for a day, you miss out on a whole, that one dude who was showing his daily routine starting at 4 a.m. and it was the most deranged thing ever. I missed the first day of that and then came back online. I was like, what the and I had to go hunting to find out the original because I was gone for a day. It's it's crazy.
It's one of those weird things, especially, and I think it's partially due to how algorithms have sort of taken over social media, because it's not just a timeline type feed like most social media used to be. I think due to the algorithmification of all of the internet, that's part of why it accelerates, because people try to get in their joke on something as quickly as possible. And it just floods everyone's feed with the one thing for a couple of days. And then it just hits this critical mass point where there's just the shift of any joke after this point, people just get annoyed at. I don't really know what you would call that or anything like that. But I do think when you do a deep dive, I feel like you need, I think it's tied to how algorithms have taken over.
And also the fact that we all have the internet in our pockets. We're connected 24/7, whereas previously you had to goes on the computer.
God, that's a good point too, actually. Yeah, you had the computer room, or at least I had the computer room. I miss the computer room. I miss having a computer room.
I'm definitely delaying us going to definition 6. It's there in the little, we've got the slides up on Google Slides.
We're all waiting for it.
I don't want to.
And we're just kind of... And I can just see the definition 6 in the image I've chosen for the final definition.
Wait, before we actually go to definition 6, I'm adding my own definition. Definition 5.5. The UK Arsenal's team, the fans, they're called Gooners. They're goons. I think I think that also might be what the team is called. So when you're talking about that football team, they're the goons, the Gooners.
Yeah. You see, that's because Arsenal, their logo is a cannon, which is and then people the Gunners, and then it gets slurred because the English are all full of mush mouths, so that becomes Gooners.
Yeah, it's adorable.
So we've gone from stupid oaf, Popeye-esque galoots to mob bosses. There's box wine, there's hockey enforcers, something awful members. The one that is in main popular culture, right? Yeah, Arsenal fans too. They will always, and they'll be once a Gooner, always a Gooner, unironically in 2025 on their merch. But the one that everyone knows.
I appreciate that they're not stepping down. They're not letting these Gooners, this final definition, take over their territory.
Yeah. The final definition is masturbators. And this. So I've got an image here of like a really buff minion with a singlet. This says never goon. And then like a drained minion with the word goon on a computer. Like it's and this is
so
one of my
depleted.
favorite.
His life force is being drained.
A depleted minion who's just gooned too hard. Like the never goon minion is one of like whenever I see it, I do laugh. It's just such an absurd like AI generation. It's like make me the buffest minion and put him in a t-shirt that says never goon. So
that's like the like modern take. I feel like, and we'll probably get into this a little bit more, but I feel like this is just the modern iteration of like nofap and like pro-fap culture online, like the debate between those.
Don't really hear about nofap guys much anymore.
No, they're all just
which is
fascists now. They're all Nazis now.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
was always there. So
what was the whole point of like semen retention and all that? What was it? What were the benefits? Supposed to make you think better or make you stronger or something?
Mental clarity, yeah. And in a lot of cases, it was like you covered this when we were doing the open, right? The shame part of porn that you were talking about. So people had this shame of wanting to masturbate, so they'd be like, okay, no, I have to not masturbate, and I still see, even to this day, like I keep seeing people like vibe coding apps to help you like not masturbate. So if you feel like you're gonna masturbate, open this app and it will give you a Bible verse to help you like desist from masturbating.
Because that's such a good idea. Conflating a religion with like stuffing that feeling down inside will totally make you normal.
Yeah,
I think I kind of understand why a lot of these people became fascists, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
You know, bring back shame, I think, in some ways. So, Goon, like we've established, Goon was like a mindless thug or like a dull-witted person. And that was kind of picked up by the kink and fetish community to like, they kind of jumped on that mindless aspect. So, like, gooning is like jerking off for so long that you just like, that's it. That's your entire brain is just you're gooning. Is your brain's gone. All you're doing is jerking it. And that shift began in about 2000s. So there's everything's got a subculture, right? So there are masturbation focused subcultures on Tumblr, and there's Reddit gooning subreddits, and gooning became the slang that we all know now. So like getting into that like prolonged hypnotic state, which is not great. Encyclopedia Dramatica. I don't know why I have it called UD here, but they've had that defined since 2006 as Goon.
Damn, so people were tuned into this for a long time. It took like 15 years for this to hit like mass understanding.
Yeah, I think so. If I've like, and yeah, I don't really know how it got to the jump to where we know it now. Like it's just been around for so long, and then like a couple of years ago it just kind of massively jumped in popularity. I pulled up the Google search drive. Has
anyone nailed down exactly the inciting incident, like the like one moment that was like, this is what like really entered it into culture? It was probably just the like increased amount of people posting about it just over time.
I think so, yeah. Like you can definitely see there's been like spikes, but also this Goon search will be diluted with Arsenal doing well in the football leagues. So if I
see that. It's kind of a late spring summer thing. You see spikes.
Yeah, if I was going to like just overlay like Arsenal activity, I would be like, okay, yeah, so there's a lot of noise in here, which will make this hard to dig down.
Yeah.
Which makes it up. You can start seeing it like starting to rise in general without dropping back down in 2023. So like
which is about when it came on our radar. Not that we like popularized the term or anything, but we carried the torch, I think, in Western Kabuki for mainstreaming that term for a lot of people, and I think that is probably why my life has deteriorated, because somebody put a curse on me for that.
And now every year you have to talk about it at least once.
Yeah.
You know, I do. You know, I think we can give ourselves some credit with the gooning thing.
That was like our first
big episode.
and that's where the curse really took off.
It is one of the first episodes of yours I listened to, actually, if I'm being real.
so many
Not great.
cases of that. There's so many instances of people saying that. Yeah.
Many such cases. Like there's a couple that I'd listen to every once in a while, but it was that point where I became a very regular listener. Unfortunately.
Gooning changes lives.
I love
Gooning
how,
changes
like,
lives.
we had to go back because, and that was before, like, Marcos is my friend now. We talk all the time. But that was like before I even knew Marcos. And he was like, no, dude, like, you got it wrong. You have to talk about this again. You have to have me on the show to correct the record on Gooning. And it was like, that one I will say was my favorite because I just never in my fucking mind could have ever conceived of being like forced to correct the record on masturbation as identity. But I'm glad we did because that actually was a pretty insightful episode into the mindset of Gooners.
Yeah, it was such a fascinating episode. I mean, it's one of those things where Marcos, I mean, I feel like maybe even ahead of the curve in some ways. It was a lot about like loneliness and like needing to find community and like jerking off as like the way that some people did that, and then you would just hang out and jack off.
It's a very specific niche like manifestation of the dudes rock thing, like you know what I mean?
Yeah The dudes do rock, but sometimes they be rocking weirdly.
Maybe
unfortunately
rocking, the cock.
So like I now that I've like when I laid all this out and I got to like when I put all these out there in the slides and I started expanding them more, I was like, this is like a hugely easy, like I can see this linguistic jump going from stupid to jerking yourself stupid and then going, let's just call it gooning.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it became and how that jump happened. So like one thing I also wanted to point out though is people use the term goon cave, like that's your dedicated jerking spot, and goon session. So it's like a long period. I do want to note that Something Awful Goons had the term goon cave before that. Mm-hmm. So that was like your little anime room filled with like your waifu and your computer.
They didn't have Funko Pops back then, but they had like similar types of somewhat socially acceptable toys you could have.
I had my Rei Ayanami 1/64 scale figure, yeah, from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
It's very detailed, especially for those the big fans, yeah.
And this is like a safe for work version of what a goon cave is now. It's just,
did you edit this yourself?
No, I found this on Google. But it's just tons of pictures of like, you know, I have seen goon caves, like of like 12 monitors, and it's like that's insane.
That is.
They're monitoring the
crazy.
situation. They're locked in. They're
locked
zone.
in.
Yeah. No, goon caves are like the craziest thing to me. Like especially the people like for our previous dives into goon caves in particular. It's like people have shown tours of their like apartments and their goon caves and their rooms, and it's like they just straight up have posters like in the living room of just like naked women, and like the TV just has like porn playing in the
not even in
well.
like a creepy uncle from the 90s type of like racy calendar nudity.
Yeah.
Like pornographic, like hardcore stuff all
Which
over
is
the entire house.
Wild.
Constantly.
Which is crazy. To me, that
to me.
implies that they don't have regular guests of like their family or other people like that, because how could you have your home built like that? And just have that out and have no shame. And of course, I think there's value in not having shame. But like at a certain point, it's like, all right, maybe you can like keep this for your bedroom.
I mean, shame aside, there's a difference between like a normal expression of a physical thing that you could equate to going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this, you know, certainly there's a football field of difference.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if it's worse if this is what their house is like all the time, or if they set that up for the
video.
I mean, with gooning, it's like a 10-hour affair for some people. So they probably make a day of it. They probably wake up, they set up their room, they put up the posters, they get the like audio going, they get the speaker
They
up
preload
running.
some carbs.
Yeah, they
like an athlete.
They put like some strategic beers or something like around the house, like on the shelf. It's like, oh, like I assume, you know, when they're gooning, they're probably walking around if they have it across the whole house. So maybe you have like a strategic drink placed in like the cabinet in a different room. Like you maybe they probably set up. It's a whole day affair. It's what you're doing that day. Just like, you know, people go to the beach, people go to the movies. They wake up and they're like, yes, time to get ready.
it's just the and yeah, I get ritual, right? Ritual's important for some people, and it's become, but it's like your whole house. That's crazy.
No, that is fucking crazy to me. But I don't know if you caught this, but I noticed this happened about a year ago, and I every once in a while I would love to go on the Goon Cave subreddit because it was people sharing their Goon Caves, and I felt like that was the most like preeminent spot to find just the depths of what people are getting up to, and it has been banned. Goon Caves was banned a year ago, and that was like 9/11 for the Goon Cave community, and for viewers like me that just are curious to like see what they're getting up to. But that was like a big day for against, or I guess a big loss rather, for gooning culture, because that was like a very safe space for gooners.
I just Googled it, and the and the top Reddit result now is r/paypig support group. So
well, I'm glad they found a new home. Probably
they found a new home, but like looks like they got banned for non-consensual intimate media. Which oh no,
that's bad. Actually, okay, probably a good call.
Probably a pretty good call. Like just repeatedly, just okay. Well, I'm glad that got banned. Look, it's like in that case, I'd be afraid in the case of like there's a lot of these communities, and like even and where I'm like, if you ban this community, it's like turning off the machine at the end of Ghostbusters. Where you're just going to like release some of the weirdest creatures out into the internet, and I feel like some of them just function as containment services. I'm like, yeah, if League of Legends ever goes down, then society's cooked, for example.
No, I always wonder about that because I feel like that's always been like the theory of a lot of these different websites. But it feels like that barrier, that containment type zone is sort of collapsing. I don't know how much of a real phenomena like a containment website is anymore. My experience with like Twitter, I guess, it informs me that like, it is a lot more friendly for Nazis, but it seems like there is a lot of crossover between Twitter for a lot of these Nazis and like Kiwi Farms, as you mentioned before, and like some of these unsavory websites more so than there used to be.
Yeah, I don't remember. We talked about this back when it was Western Kabuki, and I don't remember who said this first. It's not an original thought, but I had heard someone express basically that like the difference is like back when it was 4chan or whatever, like you knew you were a fucking loser if you went on to 4chan. You knew like to go on there, to go on to one of these specific forums to post like this, it was different. Now that everything is all blended together, the people that are doing this don't realize that they're fucking losers, and that's kind of part of the problem,
Yeah, and you can kind of see, at least in like the ways I've dug into different areas of Twitter, I can pretty easily determine, especially the way that they talk about themselves or other people. It's like, oh, this is like a 4chaner. This is someone who is either previously on 4chan a lot,
or they've just adopted the semiotics and the parlance and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Which again is like a very interesting thing because they might not have even been on 4chan, but they are importing that culture in a way, which is strange. It's maybe bad, but strange and interesting that there's like linguistics, internet linguistics, and not just like actual like language, spoken language, real life linguistics. It's like there actually is like a new type of internet like language.
It's weird too how that like has permeated throughout the years. Like just for context, I canceled my Spotify account actually yesterday, June, when you told me. I didn't know any of this. We're probably going to be talking about that soon on our show. Spotify's doing some bad stuff. Somehow I missed all that. And so I got on SoulSeek for the first time since I was, I don't know how old, SoulSeek's been around forever. Mm-hmm. But like the MU board is like one of the biggest rooms on SoulSeek right now.
Really?
It's like what CD and that, and it's like, holy shit, like you guys are still doing this, huh?
That's wild that they're still like around in a very similar capacity. Because I mean that like I was never on that website, that like that forum, that part of 4chan. But that
was the only good part. By the way, I got a couple weeks ago somebody was like, "Oh, that's the podcast where all the guys from 4chan are on." Because I got dragged for this by some stranger. I can't remember what the context was, but because I had done it when we did our South Korea episode, I think it was when we were talking about 4chan, how I said like, yeah, I used to go on the music board because that's like the easiest way for me to like download music that I liked or whatever, because that was before I'd gotten onto what CD or whatever, and back then.
Oh, I forgot about what.cd. Fuck. Yeah. Oh, that's a different world. Sorry to interrupt. That just brought back some memories.
I just thought it was funny. Like we're the Hitler podcast because I pirated music from 4chan.
No, people who weren't like teens or like young adults, I feel like in that era before like streaming services kind of became the dominant force that they are, like people don't really know about like what.cd or any of these different websites. I don't know how we would do this, Caleb, but I would love to do like a history of what.cd and like some of this like early music internet like pirating culture or something like that. That would be fucking sick. That would be sick. I always thought the coolest thing about it, for just context for people who don't really know what it is, like it was like this exclusive website where you had you had to like get interviewed. You had to like pass a vibe check to be allowed into this website. And it had like an era of exclusivity to this website, and it to me, like when I first found out about it and when I learned more about it, I was like, oh, this is like the coolest place to be. Like this is like cool. Different time, different world back then.
It was so and we're completely, I'm sorry, Cam, like we're so off the original point here, but it was just such a different time online, and like your relationship with music was so much different then, because like, you know, even torrenting as it got bigger and more common stuff did kind of change people's relationship with music, and then of course streaming services and stuff. But like back then, to find an album that you really loved, maybe you even like on SoulSeek peer-to-peer stuff, you might even like the guy, if it's some random band and they notice that you're like downloading off them, they might shoot you a DM. Like last night when I was downloading I don't remember what band it was, but the person actually sent, it was a kind of an obscure band that played a lot of regional shows, and they was like, hey, like, were you in the scene back in the day for this band? And I was like, yeah, and we talked a little bit, you know what I mean? So like back then there was like a little bit more of a community, and like your relationship with music was built on like discovering and sharing things in a way that is just completely and totally dead now.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a huge tragedy, because even, you know, even though that we talk on the show a lot about like problems with like consumption as identity, when it comes to like artistic stuff, I think that there's just something lost about that process. And, you know, even if it got kind of snobbish and gatekeepy back then, it was just a better, I don't know. I enjoyed music so much more back then than now, when I have everything at the tip of my fingers and nothing means anything anymore. You know what I mean?
Is gooning not just consumption as identity?
It absolutely is. I actually would argue that gooning masturbation as identity is kind of like a roly-poly defense system against the fascist state. These people have been broken, and they are masturbating compulsively because they are lost and don't know what else to do.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes even further, like the people that do group gooning and like hang out with each other. It like, I mean, it sounds stupid, it's silly, but like it is like them building a community. It's a strange community, but it is people finding a thing to do together, which really is what people are. We're a social species. We're always trying to have community. We're trying to build community of some kind. Maybe
like,
gooning isn't
the
best
whole
method
meme of
for
like,
that,
hey,
but
do you want to hang out and jack off? No gay stuff. Like actually is predicated on this idea of like masturbation as identity with a group of people. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to shoot myself between the fucking eyes, but that's a thing. And we learned about that in the second episode with Marcos. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa.
So
I don't know. It's a bizarre manifestation, but it still is a manifestation of people searching out communities of dudes rocking.
And I think that's why this is very, like, gooning especially is a very interesting thing to talk about, because, you know, it's silly on the surface. It's funny, but it's like a genuinely like, and it's very representative of like the world we live in now in so many different ways.
So hopefully everyone's
I can't wait
been
to tell
a
my
little more
therapist
knowledgeable
about this conversation. It's going to be so awesome.
Your therapist is going to be like, hopefully, much
what
like
did you
Caleb.
do this week? How are you feeling? Well, I had a really enlightening and illuminating conversation about masturbation as identity on my podcast. Would you like to listen to it? I think therapists are ethically prohibited from like listening to podcasts and stuff, because I a couple of years ago I was talking to a different therapist of mine about how I had a podcast, and
I will not be listening to your podcast, client of mine, Caleb.
Well, hang on, like, because this is noteworthy. I'd said, I can't remember what the conversation was, something about music, and I don't remember what it was, but she was like, oh yeah, I looked that up and I saw your podcast, and like I posted, because she didn't listen to the podcast or anything like that, but she did like Google something that I had told her that was okay to something to do with music or something, that she's mentioned that she'd saw that I had a podcast. She didn't listen to it, but I posted that as a joke on the internet, and it went kind of viral. People were like, she could lose her license for listening to your podcast. And I'm like, what? Jesus Christ, guys, it's not that deep.
Yeah, I don't think
internet's crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard of that rule, but
some sort of ethical something. I don't fucking know. Man. I don't know.
If anyone does want to do more research, I have. And I'll provide it. I will provide it to you. There will be an APA formatted bibliography that I will give to Caleb for when he goes to post this episode. It's a PDF. It's a 1-page PDF it's an APA formatted bibliography, so you can go and look up anything that we've spoken about today.
This episode of this podcast will be peer reviewed and entered in the Journal of Science as well.
Yeah, I mean, we already know Caleb's vibe. Caleb's vibe is Jesus Christ. I have a little vibe.
Dragged
check.
through this fucking world several times now, kicking and screaming.
Like, yeah, hopefully everyone's been left a little more knowledgeable. The main crux of my where I kind of want to put output into the world is kind of pointing out it's really is like the main thing that I will always kind of end all of my pieces with. It's a simple phrase. It's just the internet makes you stupid.
Hell yeah, it does. Amazing. I have an announcement to make, Caleb. Really quick, I just have an announcement. Caleb and I are starting the first Gooning podcast. Every week, we're going to be reviewing different Goon caves. So, Caleb, I'm sure you're very excited. We're going to be.
I have an announcement to make. I will be bringing a gun to Applebee's.
All right. Oh my God. I think that's a great place to wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll stop my recording.
Amazing. See ya.
See you next time. Do you have any announcements, Cameron?
Nothing for me. I'm just doing more YouTube stuff. I'm trying to do more, and I'm just like I basically had like the last 2 or 3 weeks of me just like not doing my podcast, my show, and just kind of going, how do I want to produce stuff and what kind of content I want to put out there. So I have some stuff I've been writing that's coming out. I've been bullied into working on a book that I'm only just kind of planning out, and it's actually going to be a history of shock images on the internet.
Oh, that sounds sick, actually.
And nice. I'm just trying to figure out if I have the energy to do that. Like the main reason, and I explained this on my like little season finale show for all this $10 season 1, was like I started this podcast where I had like a way more relaxed day job. Yeah. And now I'm doing like weekend work and all this other stuff, and I manage people now, so I'm like I had to just fucking pare something back. So, I'm still just trying to figure out what I have time for.
Yeah, we'll get energy. This podcast up a couple times a month. I think is the plan. So still be around.
Yeah, still be around. Easy.